Good afternoon, world. Metro Detroit area, Southeast Michigan, Northern U.S., Western Hemisphere. Good afternoon. I cordially welcome you to Books and Bourbon, Volume 3. Not in 3D, like most threes are, like Jaws 3, Friday the 13th, Part 3. I can't do 3D yet. One of these days, maybe, I'll just be coming at you. But Part 3 is here. It's May. The flowers are blooming. The sun is a-shining. It is Memorial Day weekend right now, and most folks are barbecuing. I have my co-host. Everyone, please welcome Katie to the show. Hi, Katie. How are you, honey? Yeah, yep. She'll get comfortable probably throughout our show, as everyone's met Katie in last episode. She may have put on a few pounds since then. I don't know. Let's not talk about it, though. She's really sensitive about that. We may have a couple other co-hosts. They're definitely in the audience right now. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, welcome, everybody. Sorry I've been gone so long. Been very, very busy. I have not disclosed this since my last episode, but I actually am a bookseller at Barnes & Noble in Northville. Kind of get insider info there. But I've just been really busy with work and my cats. Yeah, hon, don't lick the pipe though, honey. Don't want kitty germs on the pipe. So yeah, but I'm back. Thank you for tuning in. Seeing the amount of views and subscribers I have is actually amazing. I think Volume 2 is at over 200 views, 240, something like that. Seems to be popular. Volume 1, not as popular. It's probably because I don't have the pipe in Volume 1. But still pretty popular, almost at 200 views. So check it out if you haven't. That was Joyland by Stephen King. And then Volume 2, of course, Mysterious Package Company and Hunt-A-Killer. So we're back. What do I have today? What am I going to talk about today? First of all, make sure everything is in order, okay? Make sure you're ready for this episode. Remember, we have rules here. There are guidelines to enjoying books and bourbon. Of course, rule number 1, books. Rule number 2, of course, bourbon with a beer chaser if you're a wimp like me. Rule number 3, cats, right? Cats go with books very well. As any cozy mystery fan will tell you, cats and books, I don't know, there's something going on there. Pipe, and definitely your moccasins. So get those mocks comfy cozy there, okay? Make sure your feet are really nice and comfy in your mocks, okay? So let's talk. First, our featured bourbon for May. Well, you know what? First, I'll just give away the theme of today's episode, because it has to do with some things that I'm about to talk about. First of all, our theme for today, I put on my Facebook post, make sure to bring your inner child. So, of course, what I'm going to talk about today is children's literature. Katie, what do you think about that, honey? You think that sounds good? Good. I'm glad. We're going to talk about children's lit today. I'm going to share with you a recent book that I've read that would definitely fall into the children's lit category. And then I'm actually going to go through some of my favorite. I hope this is like a sharing time where you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I love that book, because I'm going to go through some of my favorite children's lit books of all time. So anyway, with that being said, let's dive into our featured bourbon for Volume 3. And you'll notice I've got quite a few things going on here today, so I'm going to talk about why I have each one of those things going on. So first of all, since we're celebrating our inner child in this episode, I thought I would feature my very first legal bottle of Jack Daniels that I ever bought. So this is the bottle from my 21st birthday. I saved it for, I won't tell you how many years, but it's more than 10. Do the math. But yeah, this is my very first bottle of Jack Daniels. So you can see the labels peeling. They don't even make the bottle like this anymore. Now it's like more squared off and stuff. But this baby's been with me for quite a long time. I wanted to save it when I bought it. I remember the night I bought it pretty well. Some of you watching this may have been with me the night I bought this, actually. So, anyway, Inner Child. Woo! First bottle of Jack Daniels. Again, though, Jack, not a bourbon. Not featured in tonight's episode. Okay? Remember that, too. That's a guideline right there. Not a bourbon. A sweet Tennessee whiskey. Charcoal blended. Anyway, that's my childhood, quote-unquote, bottle of Jack Daniels right there. Sorry, Kate. What else do I have here? Since we're celebrating our inner child, I have my featured, whoa, it's heavy, my featured G.I. Joe complete box set. Every episode of G.I. Joe on DVD. I found this baby at a gigantic used stuff store in Clawson. I highly recommend this store. If you guys like retro things, check it out. Downtown Clawson. I forget what it's called. Just drive down the main strip there in Clawson. Nope, I forget what it's called. It's not Guild of Blades. That's the role-playing game store. That is also awesome in downtown Clawson. Just go to downtown Clawson. Magic store, role-playing game store, and the store that I got these guys at right here. So G.I. Joe. Let's celebrate G.I. Joe right there. Inner Child. Inner Child. And finally, we have our featured bourbon. I thought it'd be fun. This is a brand new bottle. I just uncorked it. I tried to find something childish, but unfortunately bourbon, it brings out the inner child, as I've said before, absolutely. But bourbon itself isn't very childish. It's a little more, Old West, Clint Eastwood. But whatever. I got one with a fun name. This is called Bullet Bourbon. Okay, that's alliteration, right? Bullet Bourbon is very good, I hope. But, BB, childish, alliteration's childish. So that's what we're going to go with. This one, again, it fits the criteria. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, distilled and aged in the Bullet family tradition. So note, it isn't Bullet like, shooting a gun. Ooh. No, this is Bullet like a family. It's Bulleit, okay? Again, mid-grade bourbon. I'm not going crazy with the prices here. I think this guy was about $25, something like that. It is 90 proof, so it's got a little kick to it. Not like Wild Turkey, like last episode, but it's got a kick. So we're gonna try it out, okay? I'm really gonna try to speed this episode up a little bit too. So sorry guys, about 45 minutes. I just start talking, and crap flies out of my mouth. So anyway, here we go. Let's do this. This is my ready-made shot of Bullet Bourbon. Again, now is the point where I welcome you to press pause and run up to your corner liquor store, pick yourself up a fun bottle of Bullet Bourbon. Bottle of Bullet Bourbon. Here we go. All right, bottoms up. Get my chaser ready here. Got my fun, childish-looking, gigantic German glass of beer here for a chaser. Katie might want a sip. She just wants to, hi, honey. All right. Cheers, everybody. Good to see you again. Here we go. It's the afternoon. This is weird, but okay. Cheers. Okay. Woo. Woo. Okay. That one burns. Bullet bourbon burns. Bullet bourbon in a bottle burns. Feeling that right in the tummy right now. Absolutely. Definitely has a rye-ish flavor to it. It's not charcoaly. It's very rye-y. So, not bad though. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff. I hope you enjoyed yours and are feeling that same tummy burn that I'm feeling right now. So, yeah, yep, Daddy's tummy's burning after that one. But anyway, cheers, guys. I'm going to have one more sip of beer here. All right. Very good, very good. Cheers to everybody. Again, hope you enjoyed that. Katie is. Anyway, all right, let's continue. Let's get into the books. We got the bourbon, let's get into the books. So actually, before we get into the books, I did want to thank everybody. Follow my little outline here that I've written down. Thank everyone for watching the first 2 episodes. That's awesome. It's always great telling people that I have this thing going. I wanted to specifically thank some groups here. I want to give a shout out to my fellow Barnes & Noble booksellers and the book club as well. Hey guys, hope you're tuning in. Cheers. We had a great book club meeting, about a week ago now already? We had a blast, and you guys were cracking me up about books and bourbon. So hope you enjoy this episode. Good to see you guys, and look forward to working with you tomorrow. And I wanted to give a shout out to my nephew, one of my biggest fans, Mr. Tones. Tony, I hope you're enjoying this episode so far. We've got some fun things lined up, and if you see a book you want to read, let me know, and Uncle John will let you borrow one of the books. You're spending the night tomorrow night, remember, so I'll let you borrow one of these books tomorrow night if one of them sounds good to you, okay? All right. Continuing on. Children's lit as a whole, I have a very soft spot for. I like to think I'm in pretty good touch with my inner child. Thank you, Katie. Hence my Iron Maiden poster. Oh, my Iron Maiden. There it is. My Iron Maiden poster behind me. I love kid things. I love Disney. I love cartoons. I love the NES, all that stuff. I'm definitely in touch with my inner child, as Katie knows. Let's get deeper with that, though, right? So, I have a master's degree in education. I went to school to teach English. While I was there, I had to take a lot of English classes, read a lot of books, most of which are a couple hundred years old, and definitely of the, as Terry from the bookstore would make fun of me, of the hoity-toity type, Terry. What a pleasure it was in college to have to take, I had to take, a children's lit course. And I always loved, to read as a kid too. But getting to revisit children's lit as an adult, if you haven't done so, do it. Please do it. Working at the bookstore, I walk past the teen section and I go into the children's section. Working at the children's section at a bookstore is one of the greatest things ever too, by the way, because it feels like you own your own little children's bookstore. It's great. But revisiting or visiting for the first time some of these children's lit or teenage lit books is some of the best stuff ever. I'm not going to lie, it's just fantastic. Authors who can write good children's lit or good teenage fiction have a special talent, and I would love to have it, and I don't, but I can enjoy when these folks do, and it's just some of the most imaginative, fun, touching, humorous fiction there is. And a lot of times they're not writing for kids. They're writing for kids, but they're doing a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the parents out there, or to adults who like this type of lit. It's just great. So, what made me want to do this episode? So first, our featured book, really, of the episode is this one right here, The Mysterious Benedict Society. So check it out. Cool soft cover, rather. Thick. A thick book. There's a lot of pages in this book for a kid. Almost 500 pages. A little off-putting. J.K. Rowling, I'm talking to you, Goblet of Fire, Volume 4. Probably scared a lot of kids or made them really good readers. Same thing with Mysterious Benedict Society. This is the first of a series, okay? So this is by Trenton Lee Stewart. I believe he's from the South. Check out the art. That's what got me about this book. That's what got me into it. I was walking around the children's section. This book is everywhere, actually, at Barnes & Noble. This thing's fallen off the ceiling. It's just on tables. It's in the children's section. It's everywhere. You can't miss it at Barnes & Noble. But the artwork, I really enjoyed. They say don't judge a book by its cover. I say they're wrong. I say you usually can judge a book by its cover. Usually. The cover intrigued me. Check out the artwork. Interesting tidbit here. I liked this artwork so much that I looked it up. Who did it? Well, I didn't look it up. It says who it's illustrated by, so never mind. But I dug into it a little bit. Turns out the illustrator of this book is actually a member of the band, the Decemberists. So if you like the Decemberists, I forget what instrument she plays or if she's vocals in the band, but she's in the Decemberists too, so kind of cool music tie-in there. So anyway, Mysterious Benedict Society. This is volume 1 of a series. This one got so popular. This is old. Not old, but it's been around for, I think, maybe 10 years or so. But it's still selling like crazy. So it was so popular that the author actually made it a series. I think there are 2 more actual books in the series itself. And then he did like a trivia book based on the characters in the world of the book. So he hasn't written another one in a long time. Like I think the trivia book is like 5 years old now, which is kind of sad because these are great. I hope he writes another one soon. I've checked it out. I haven't seen that there's any plans to. He started a different series, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, what do I think about the book and what's the book about? The book is, in short, about a group of oddball, really intelligent children. They are all orphans, which is kind of sad. They're all orphan, kind of discarded, really intelligent children that an old man needs to get together to save the world, basically. And the house on the cover is actually their headquarters, which is pretty cool. So kind of an old, mansion-y, castle-y type house that they all live in. And you can see all the characters are on the cover in different rooms of the house. But what a great setup. Children's Lit always has great setups and great characters, and this one doesn't let you down there. Each character has its own personality, like total niche, right? You've got Sticky. He's like an almost Asperger-y smart kid that's like a walking encyclopedia. You've got the main character, Rennie, who's just your normal kind of Harry Potter-ish kid, who's kind of an oddball, really smart, but he's your everyman, right? He's the one you're supposed to identify with. No spoilers, but you've got a girl character in the book that definitely has some surprises around her. She's great. The characters are great. The plot moves pretty quickly. It's a quick read for a 500-page book for a kid, but it is pretty dense. Like I would recommend this probably for like 12-year-olds. But anyway, check it out. Mysterious Benedict Society. I don't want to give too much away about the book. It's tough to talk about this one. Adults, what will adults take out of this book? Humor. There's a lot of wit going on in this book. The plot overall is pretty cool. It's about a crazy old man who wants to take over the world. There's telepathy going on. There's a school for brainwashing children going on. Children's Lit, when it's really good, Children's Lit is actually really dark, and this book does it well. It's almost like a 1984 darkness going on with this book that children may not, it's hidden. It's like a subplot there. The depth of what's going on may be kind of hidden from kids, and parents can get into the 1984-ness of the whole thing and some of the sci-fi that's going on here. So anyway, check it out. There's some weaknesses here too. I give this one. What do I give this one, Katie? Because I'm reading the second one. I want to read the second one. I have it. It's on deck. I'm going to give this book 3.25 bourbon bottles out of 5. Okay, check it out. The important part is this one actually opened up a discussion for me in my own head about some of the greatest children's lit. So pick it up. Not a bad price, $9.99. If you're a member at Barnes & Noble, it's 10% off, right? So you're going to save about $2 off this guy. Check it out. It's worth a read, especially if you like children's lit. If you're not especially into children's lit, here's where I want to get into the children's lit discussion. Getting a little parched here. There we go. I want to open the discussion up a little bit to get into some of the greatest children's lit that's ever been written. And of course, I think that discussion, and this is the part where I want everyone to be like, what? Who's he going to bring up, right? Because there's a bond with a good kids book. There's just a bond with it. Ageless. You can be 70 and still, that a good children's lit book just taps into just makes you happy. So does Bullet Bourbon. So does a bottle of Bullet Bourbon. But anyway, I think that for me personally, any discussion of children's literature or teenage, whatever, lit has to start with this author, one of my very, very, very favorites. I would like to see this man knighted. I don't know if he ever was when he was alive. He passed away. Drumroll. My favorite children's lit author of all time is Mr. Roald Dahl. He wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I lent my copy of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory away to someone who owns it. If you have it, please send it back. It's been 15, 20, 25 years. I don't know who it is. Kevin from elementary school, if you have it, send it back, please. One of my favorite books of all time. This one is Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. Very underrated sequel. If you've read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, if you've seen the movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, if you've seen Johnny Depp as Michael Jackson / Willy Wonka in the remake, and you have not read this book, please read it. This is the sequel. Totally underrated. Like, it's almost like no one knows there was a sequel to the first one, to the book. It's fantastic. It's the same tone, the same humor, the same sly, dark Twilight Zone-y humor, but with a bit of Airplane thrown in for good measure, right? Airplane the movie, that kind of goofiness. What a great book. I believe this is actually the book that introduces the Vermicious Canids for the first time. I don't think the Vermicious Canids are in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I think they're in The Great Glass Elevator. If you know the Vermicious Canids, you know what I'm talking about. What a great monster / alien thing. But anyway, Roald Dahl, guys. What a great, fantastic author. He totally wrote all of his books for adults. And he cloaked it in books for children. When you read these as an adult, you just think, what a pleasure, because my kid is going to get a kick out of this, because it's funny, it's goofy. But the whole time he's really writing for you. He's really writing for the adult, and he's really giving you a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and he's making you laugh as an adult. What a talent. To bring up some things many people might not know about Roald Dahl, 2 things, recommendations. First thing is, he actually did, I'll put that down, he actually did a TV series that I did not know about called, I believe it's called Tales of the Mysterious. You can get the DVDs from Netflix. They're not streaming, but you can get the DVDs. Highly recommended. It's very much a Twilight Zone type series where, each episode is unrelated to the next. If you're a fan of like the newer Black Mirror, dig back to Tales of the Mysterious. It's great. I think they're an hour-long episodes. Very British. If you like British stuff, highly British, like Alfred Hitchcock Presents too. Very British. Always a twist at the end. Roald Dahl either wrote or approved every episode, and he actually introduces them. So if you like Roald Dahl, he introduces each episode in his English drawing room with a fire, kind of like I'm trying to do right now. I think I'm secretly trying to be Roald Dahl, not so secretly. But yes, fantastic stuff. And Heather McGinty, if you're watching this, I'm throwing a name out there. I'm about to feature something that Heather introduced me to years and years ago with Roald Dahl. She'll remember this, and I still have it. And she owned it, and I loved it so much, she let me actually own it. She gave it to me. The Roald Dahl Omnibus. What a lot of people don't know about Roald Dahl is he actually wrote short stories for adults. These are not kid stories, and actually a lot of Tales of the Mysterious were made into, or a lot of these stories were made into Tales of the Mysterious episodes. Check out his adult short stories. They're fantastic. Very Alfred Hitchcock. Short. Lots of quick punches. You can read these in 15 minutes. Actually, and what I loved about this book is it's called Perfect Bedtime Stories for Sleepless Nights. And it's true. They are perfect bedtime stories for sleepless nights. You're like, man, I can't get to sleep tonight. I just want to read something short and sweet with a kick. That's this book. I actually have a bookmark in here from who knows how long ago. I have no idea. Oh, Borders. Got to put that away. I'm a Barnes & Noble's bookseller. Put that away. Yeah. Check out his adult stuff. He wrote 3 different short story books that actually became this omnibus, which is, I believe this is all of them in one. So check it out, guys. Just great stuff. Humorous, scary, funny, tense, like suspenseful, good stuff. So anyway, Roald Dahl is my award winner for Best Children's Lit Author of all time. Besides that, I wanted to share some other ones that I just love and highly recommend. One that I haven't really heard anyone else having read is this one. This goes back to like 3rd grade for me. Dear Mr. Henshaw by Beverly Cleary. You may know Beverly Cleary from Ramona, the Ramona series, or the Mouse and the Motorcycle series. This one maybe went under the radar a little bit. I mean, it won the Newbery, so obviously it didn't go under the radar too much. But I've never had a conversation with anyone else about this book. It's a great book. The premise, you've got the main character, Lee. He's a little boy, and he just went through a hard time in life. I believe his parents got divorced, so he's going through a divorce. And the whole book is the format. It's a letter writing. Guys, I'm feeling my bullet bourbon. What's the name? Like Dracula. It's written as all letters. Epistle. It's an epistolary, right? So the whole format of the book is him writing letters to his favorite author, which in my childhood was Roald Dahl. So when I read this book in like 3rd grade or whatever for the first time, I pictured that I was actually writing to Roald Dahl. And what's cool is that's all it is. It's all his letters to his favorite author. And he loves this author. This author wrote a book called Moose on Toast, I think it's called. And that's all it is. Like, the author never writes back. There's no dialogue. It's all just, it's an epistolary. It's all just this kid's letters to his favorite author. And what's cool is as time goes on in the book, you start to get to know the kid really well. And the kid his letters start off formal, and then he lets you in his letters, he lets you in on the fact that the author's writing him back sometimes, or sometimes he's not writing him back, and the kid is almost writing like a journal to himself, except he's sending them to this author to try to cope with his parents' divorce. Just a great book, Dear Mr. Henshaw. Great book. Highly recommended. Moving along, this one I'm sure a lot of you guys will remember. Anyone my age, this one was huge for us, for our generation as kids. Yeah, here we go. I don't even need to say anything about it. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Again, I think I lent my More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark to someone years and years ago, and I don't have it. This is the first one, though, with the original cover art. So check out this cover, guys. Check this out. Check out the artwork. Oh, Alvin Schwartz did such a great job. Look at this. Here's an old lady. Look at how creepy that is, okay? I read this when I was 10 years old, and it scared the crap out of me. Yeah, she's serving a man's head, okay? Welcome to being 10 years old, right? How cool. Remember this, guys? Remember this? What an awesome book. What an awesome series. And I believe that you can't find, like, they don't publish it like this anymore because the artwork was frightening to kids. And it was. I mean, this is awesome. Like, I would love to have this artwork framed in my home. How cool. For those of you who don't know the series, this is, Stephen Gamel did the artwork. Elvin Schwartz did the collection. But these are basically short folk tales, actually. These aren't original at all. These are all collected folk tales, mainly American folk tales. Some South American, I think. Some European too, but mainly American. Going back a couple hundred years. And they are scary. They're weird. For a kid, they're very scary. I remember, I mean, these were a huge deal. We used to, like, sneak these out of the library and read them as a group. But what's cool as an adult, at the end, the author, what I never realized is there's a bibliography at the back. And the author tells you the source material where he got all of these stories from, because they're not original. He collected these. So, you know, as a parent, possibly, it's a good introduction to folklore and getting kids into folk tales. So, highly recommend this still. Still very frightening. Awesome artwork. Good for adults, good for kids. Scary stories to tell in the dark. I'll move it along here. Charlotte's Web, one of my very favorites. Man, E.B. White, man. He did Stuart Little as well. He did The Trumpet of the Swan. Just all good stuff. And look at that artwork, too. Children's lit books have the best art, too. You know, I hope everyone who's watching this has gotten into Charlotte's Web, because it's just, I mean, it's timeless. This is an American classic. What I wanted to bring up more about Charlotte's Web, though, hopefully everyone here, I think they did a live action one, right, with CGI. Whatever. It's the cartoon. If you haven't watched the cartoon of Charlotte's Web, watch it again. Now, watch it today, because it's just awesome. The music is fantastic. The art in the cartoon is great. The animation is great. Debbie Reynolds actually does the voice of Fern. Of course, there's a sad story right there. Carrie Fisher's mom. But her voice is so good as Fern. And Wilbur is great. But what I want to highlight about Charlotte's Web, and especially the movie, is the music is awesome. So, watch it, and this is one of my favorite things I've acquired in the last couple months. This is the Charlotte's Web score on vinyl, and man, it's good. It is so good. And here, look at the vinyl is really cool too. It's pink like Wilbur, right? Like a pig, some pig. What a cool record! What a cool record! And this is out now. You can buy this now. This is a reissue. It's new. The music is just awesome, and it's almost Beatles-ish. There's a song on there, the Charlotte's Theme. I think it's called Charlotte's Theme. It sounds like the song off Abbey Road called, not something, you'll know it. Check it out. It sounds just like the Beatles. Just awesome music throughout. So, watch Charlotte's Web, listen to the music, get into Debbie Reynolds as Charlotte. What a great story, timeless story. Okay, I'm moving along. Another one, Spell for Chameleon. This is the Xanth trilogy by Piers Anthony. Highly recommended. The overall theme is, even if you don't feel special, there's something special in you. It's about a guy in a fake world. There's a lot of humor going on here. A lot of wink, wink, nudge, nudge humor going on here. It's a fake world, but let me see here. It oddly resembles Florida. That's what I mean about humor. But it's about a guy who lives in a world where everyone can do magic. Everyone has one particular spell that they can do. They have one talent, one spell. And this guy, and it's a rite of passage. You can't get married unless you have a spell, and he does not. And he's going to get kicked out of his clan, of his family, of his tribe, because he doesn't have a spell. And this is all about him finding out whether he does have a spell or not. What a cool book, guys. Like, I don't have time to get into it because I'm already running long, but please check it out. This is also, it's always in print. You can readily buy this. One of my favorites, man. Like, I want to read the trilogy all over again. But this is the first book, and what a good first book it is. And I'll make this one my last one. Again, this one's all over the place still. They just reissued this as an anniversary edition. I like that edition better than this one, but this is the one that I got, The Westing Game. The Westing Game. I recommend this to kids at the bookstore all the time. If you like mysteries and riddles, this actually, I think Trenton Lee Stewart, the author of this, The Mysterious Benedict Society, totally got a lot from Anne Raskin. This was written in the 70s, I think. It's been around a long time. But it's got some Willy Wonka-ness to it, a mystery. The main character in this book is just great. She's a little girl with a ton of sass. Her name's Turtle. There's humor going on. You will not, if you've never read this, you will not see the twists in the ending that's coming. It's all about a game to win a ton of money, kind of around the world in 80 days-ish, but a little more academic, not so travel-y. And it's all from Turtle, the little girl's point of view. And the author, Anne Raskin, she died. She only wrote 2 books, I think. She wrote another one, and I haven't read it yet, and I can't remember what it's called. It's hard to find, though. This is the easiest one to find. But check it out, guys. This also won the Newbery. So the Newbery, by the way, is the Children's Lit Award for writing, excellence in writing. They give it to 1 book a year. And so I think that one, Charlotte's Web, and Dear Mr. Henshaw all won the Newbery Award for that year. So anyway, I'm going on long again. You guys, thanks for sticking with me. Check out one of those books, though, okay? If you haven't. Like, I hope that I've introduced at least one that you haven't read yet, even if it's Mysterious Benedict Society. I'm going to check out the second one. I'll leave a comment about the second one, let you know what I think. Bullet Bourbon. Buy yourself a bottle of Bullet Bourbon. And here's to alliteration. And here's to books and cats and easy chairs and moccasins and pipes. And I'll see everyone real soon, okay? Cheers, everybody. See you soon. Bye.